Imagine waking up one day and realizing that nobody truly takes you seriously, not because you are incapable, but because you've trained the world to overlook you. People talk over you, they cancel on you, they make promises and break them, and you just swallow it in silence. You have become a background character in your own life while other people take the lead roles. The harsh truth is this: you allowed yourself to be stepped on. And maybe, painfully, the world is only responding to react instantly. Thomas Shelby is dangerous because he is unreadable. Most people are painfully predictable. Insult them and they bark back, ignore them and they chase, reject them and they beg. He does the opposite. He pauses. That pause is unsettling. It's not weakness, it's calculation. Silence tells the world, I am not forced to respond on your timing. Inside that silence, strategy is born. Ask yourself honestly, how many times did you sabotage your own life because you couldn't stand? The first real shift begins with understanding that being cold doesn't mean feeling nothing. It means mastering what you feel. Ordinary people crumble under emotion. They overreact, they over-explain, they panic, they raise their voices, they desperately try to justify themselves. Thomas Shelby is not cold because he lacks emotion. He is cold because emotion does not command him. He doesn't move out of impulse. He moves out of decision. Every time you explode, you expose your weak points. You show people exactly what gets to you. You hand them a map straight to your buttons, but when you remain calm in chaos, your perception expands while theirs narrows. You see angles, options, leverage. Calmness isn't aesthetic. It's tactical. And it's not gifted, it's trained. That training looks like willingly stepping into discomfort, having conversations you fear, sitting in silence when your ego wants to scream, saying no when your whole life you've been afraid to. Most people avoid this, and then wonder why nothing changes. They want respect, without paying the psychological price of becoming someone worthy of it. You also need to abandon your addiction to being liked. People who need universal approval automatically kneel. Thomas Shelby is divisive. Some admire him, others hate him, many fear him, but nobody is indifferent. While you measure every sentence so nobody misjudges you, your life is slipping by. Trying to please everyone is one of the most efficient ways to erase yourself. You sacrifice truth for comfort, identity for acceptance. You shape-shift to fit other people's expectations and then feel empty without knowing why. Respect is born when you are willing to lose approval to keep your core intact. It comes when you say, "This is my direction," and you hold it even with your hands shaking. Without that, you'll always orbit around other people's gravity rather than generating your own. Another foundation of becoming untouchable is breaking your reflex. Energy you project, because you still haven't become someone who demands respect simply by existing. Thomas Shelby was not born respected. He wasn't chosen. He was forged under pressure through war, blood, loss, and choices most people would collapse under. If today you feel small, overlooked, invisible, that isn't a sentence. It's a diagnosis, and the question that remains is brutal. Will you continue living as someone the world ignores, or will you become someone impossible to ignore? Waiting? You rushed into relationships because you feared being alone. You accepted opportunities beneath you because you were afraid of the unknown. You said things in anger you later choked on. You didn't lose because you were weak. You lost because you were impatient. True emotional coldness doesn't come from motivational quotes. It comes from exposure to reality. Thomas carries war inside him. He has faced death, guilt, trauma. You don't need to wish for suffering, but you do need to stop. Insulating yourself from everything uncomfortable. Avoidance weakens you. Every time you run from difficulty, you quietly teach yourself that you can't handle life. Then you rename that pattern as bad luck. It's not bad luck, it's avoidance disguised as fate. Life toughens the ones who stand still in the storm rather than sprinting for shelter at the first raindrop. Your psychological war is simple. Voluntarily face what you habitually dodge. Speak where you normally stay silent. Admit when you are wrong without excuses. Attempt things where failure is possible. You are demanding strong outcomes from a version of yourself that has never been pressure tested. That's not unfair. It's unrealistic. Another subtle but lethal skill Tommy wields is his ability to see people as they are, not as he wishes they were. You constantly project your values onto others and then get crushed when they don't mirror them. You expect loyalty from people who already showed selfishness. You expect consistency from people who can barely manage themselves. You wait for reciprocity from those who never promised any. Disappointment becomes inevitable. The courage is in acknowledging who truly stands with you, who uses you, and who merely benefits from your presence. When you stop romanticizing people, your life gets quieter and more powerful. You stop begging, you stop chasing, you stop being surprised by behavior that was obvious from the start. Then comes a more advanced level, alignment of interests. Thomas rarely convinces others with moral speeches. He thinks in incentives. He understands desire and fear. He offers people what they already want and attaches consequences they can't ignore. In your life, you still try to persuade with emotion. Please understand me. See what I do for you. Don't you care? That rarely moves anyone. The world runs on cost and benefit. Start asking the right question. What's in it for them? That single mental shift ends your victim mindset. You move from, they don't help me, to, I didn't give them a reason to. You stop treating life like a charity and start operating like a strategist. Being untouchable doesn't mean being unreachable or numb. It means having a center strong enough that loss doesn't dissolve you. Thomas Shelby bleeds, loses, grieves, but he is not defined by any single wound. Today, maybe the smallest rejection destroys you. A message left on seen, a failed plan, a cold response, and you spiral. That's not because the event was huge, but because your foundation is thin. You built your sense of worth on fragile things, external attention, specific people, temporary success. Becoming untouchable means building pillars that don't vanish overnight. Purpose, competence, discipline, the ability to walk alone, the courage to begin again. When you have those, the world loses its power to control your emotional climate. Now comes the part most people will never accept. Radical responsibility. Nothing truly changes while your life is still explained by what others did to you. Thomas Shelby carries endless internal scars, but he doesn't hide inside them to excuse paralysis. Life isn't fair and never will be, and the only question worth asking is what you will do regardless. Taking responsibility hurts because it removes your favorite excuses, but it is also the moment your power returns. When you say, I am where I am because of others, you hand them the keys. When you say, I am where I am because of my choices, you get to choose differently. In the end, transformation is brutally simple in concept and brutally difficult in practice. Stop behaving like someone waiting to be chosen. Choose yourself. Stop asking for confidence to appear. Build it through competence. Stop craving instant respect. Become the kind of person who deserves it through behavior repeated day after day. Figures like Thomas Shelby fascinate because they embody the gravity of battles, fought internally and externally. It's not the haircut, the clothes, or the accent. It's the weight. If right now you are ignored, good. That is the perfect starting point. Now decide who you will become next. Someone permanently overlooked, or someone the world regrets ever underestimating. Remember this. Being cold, being calm, being untouchable are not poses you put on. They are consequences, Consequences of facing yourself when no one is watching, of doing the difficult thing when the easy path begged you to take it, of refusing to keep running from your own potential. Life is testing you constantly. The only question is whether you will remain the person others walk over, or whether you will finally become the kind of person even your past self would fear. The only question is whether you will remain the person others walk over, or whether you will finally become the kind of person even your past self would fear disappointing.